Doop, 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 doop. It is 11:18. Enough time to make another model. Yay! Okay, so we will take a look at how we can model this mid-century side stand. And I will, with this exercise, introduce you to the timeline. So the timeline basically captures all our design steps. And in addition, allows us to modify the steps. So for example, here I have the sketch for all my dimensions. Right click, show dimension. There we are. So what happens when I say, well, this should be 548. Suck, you see, everything moves up. Pretty awesome. I'll make this smaller. So with one mouse click, I adjusted the whole design. Now this looks super amazing. Actually, it is super amazing. That's primarily how I work, but it also requires that you follow a very logical step-by-step how everything is being built, because we need to create relationships, or kind of like a manual for the software, how when we modify something, we want the model to be adjusted. Okay. So, new design. Millimeters in this design is perfect. We go to the front view, and now we can think about, okay, so how do we start? I would like to have a design that is from the top like a box, so square, which means it can be perfectly centered on our world. That's really important because you see these legs later will be rotated around the world center, which is the reason why in this design you see the sketch is actually in the center. Good. So make a sketch. Front view. We just draw a rectangle, whatever. Escape. Then I will move this over a little bit. Then point onto the midpoint there. Dimension constraint this point to here. I would like to have 125 millimeters of distance. This should have a height of 480, and this should have a width of 400. So how do we center this one? Now that's the reason why I made here this midpoint. We can bring this over and then vertical constraint to there. Very good. Cool. So technically speaking, when we go to finish sketch, go to extrude, the whole box should have 400 millimeter of a depth. Then I would go and say symmetry, 400 millimeter maximum depth or distance. Cool. So here's my block now. Now I can think about how would I like all the wooden parts to be aligned. We will have one video about joinery, so I will not in detail explain the joinery types here. I will do this more simplified. So I will actually go back to here. And now I can think. So I will have a table or side stand top. And on the surface, I do not want to see any edges. So I just draw here a horizontal line. Let's delete this, make this horizontal, and then let's give this also a dimension. 15 millimeters. Then we can have the sides. Okay. So let's draw a line, and I draw a line on purpose somewhere there. Also these perpendicular constraints I remove, replace them vertical. And now I would like to have here a distance 2. And check this out now. I don't type in 15, I click on this 15. It also says dimension 6. This is dimension 3, dimension 1, dimension 2. So all these dimensions have numbers. When I click on it, hey, it says now this dimension is the value of dimension 6. Enter. And now it says fx 15. Let's do the same. Click, click, and enter. So when I double click this one and say 30, you see how those update. Pretty cool, no? Yup. 15. I have now a nice side here with a tiny gap because these two plates connect. The bottom is free. Now I can actually put in just this bottom part there, and then also here add a dimension, go back to there. And because I referenced all to this part, you see when I adjust that, all the others go with it. That's pretty awesome, no? Yeah. We also need to have somewhere a drawer or something in opening. So here, Jesus, these constraints are a little bit annoying. I like to simply see the horizontal vertical. Zack, 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 zack. Very good. And you see they're blue because we have not specified the internal distance. And that should be 120. Very good. Finish. Okay. So now this extrusion we have here is completely useless. We will delete it. And now we will start and say, well, where do we start? Maybe down here. We say symmetry, U 400. Okay, cool. Then I will go to the next, maybe here, and say 400. Symmetry there. But can I actually reference this value of what I used down here? So for this distance, look, you see, this is actually called D4. Okay, here's the first extrusion. This is D12. You see D12? So that means when I go to here and say D12, enter. Yeah. Let's try this again. These two I hide. I select both at the same time. D12. Suck. Suck, suck. And here D12. Actually, this feature I delete because I have the left and right. A little bit of cleanup of my timeline. You saw how I can delete features, and now via the control on a PC or the Apple command key on the Mac, I select these 3 profiles and then extrude all 3 automatically. And again, I do not select this because it would be joined, even while this says new body, but the software will understand this as one sketch or profile. Good. Okay. Zack, 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 and zack. So if the first sketch here, I would adjust now to 200. You see the sides will adjust too. That's pretty cool. Let me, at this point, go to change parameter, because what we do here right now is also called parametric modeling. Before I showed you direct modeling. SketchUp also is a pure direct modeler. What we do is done. We can't really adjust it afterwards. Well, we can adjust the design in direct modeling in Fusion, we can still move faces, but we cannot enter numbers in a spreadsheet and then everything is updated. So here, change parameters, click on it. We go to here, we open all this stuff, and it looks a little bit maybe confusing at the beginning. But look at this. So here's dimension 12, 400 millimeters. And dimension 11, here's the material thickness. And when we double click this, we could say, okay, I guess not 2 letters. Could write material thickness. And you see here, this is all updated. So all these expressions or dimensions use the value from material thickness. And here, this is, we can call this depth. And 480, this is actually our height. And this is actually our width. This is for the sketch, so 2D, and then depth, that is for 3D. So when I go in here and say, well, I would like this to be 200, and then you see how this got updated, and also here maybe 200 there. You see how we're adjusting the design just by manipulating values inside the spreadsheet or the expressions. Okay, so just so you understand a little bit as a preview of how interwoven everything is. Very good. So this looks actually pretty nice for our first box. Now, this part, when we put it in, would fall down. I would like actually now to have a little bit of a cut to come out. Sorry, not come out. I would like to have this intersect here so that there will be a little groove in these two, and then this will sit in. Then from the outside, I don't need to have any screws. From the inside, I don't need to have any glue. Or from the bottom, I don't need to have any bracket. Very basic joinery. So when we go to this sketch here, right here, we need to add something. We can do this very easily this way. Click, click. Find the snapping point, click and click. And then D, and this will be 5 millimeters. Then we will do exactly the same here. Okay. Now I can give this a dimension and then reference the other over. Or I simply, because all these lines are perpendicular, select this line, and then say equal. So you see this line is equal now to here. So when I change this to 10, there you see how this grows. Pretty cool, no? Think so too. Okay. Finish sketch. Okay, in our design, nothing really updated much. Okay, so let me show you a nice trick. How I know I'm going to adjust also the timeline. This is also a really great example to illustrate how useful this timeline is, because what you will find, and it's the same with me, you will have a hunch, an idea how something you can build. But while you start modeling everything, you start understanding the design better, finding better ways how to structure your design. So you have to adjust the way how we model it. So this centerpiece, I would like to actually now extrude and cut a piece out there. So that means here is my command. So I double click or right click and say Edit Feature, Control or Apple key. I add this to it. There. Very good. And so there you see now, at least it is currently there. But I don't have the groove there. How do we do the groove? We can actually, for example, use the sketch to cut a slot. Okay, let's do that. I will hide all this. Then I will select this, this, and this. Very good. And now I need to find the side panels. There they are. Very good. Do an extrude and cut. You see, we are cutting the slot from the sketch. And we can say distance to all. That basically cuts through symmetry. And there we are. So I don't need to specify the distance because to all basically means till the end it cuts through. Zuck. There we are. Pretty cool, no? And there are the panel, or there is that panel that will sit in there. Super nice. I could also, when I go back, just to show you, this is a different approach. I have this piece built, okay? So I could say combine. So U minus this one, but keep the tool. So this piece, which is my tool to cut the groove, will remain. Okay. One more time. U, no, U to U. Yep. Okay. There you see this. But I actually added 2 extra commands versus 1 command. So this extrude and cut at the same time simply is more effective. I get the same result, just less commands stored. Right now, this is very simple. But if you have 20, 60, 80 steps, you want to have this timeline very short because it's easier for you to manage. Very nice. Here again, let's do this. So parameters, when we change this to 20, you see how everything moves. So beautiful. And if we want to move this drawer up or back to where it was, and you see, works really good. Yeah. To bring this module kind of like for the box a little bit to an end, now we also would like to create a back face. And with the back face, we need to have some sort of a slot also for this plate to sit in. So along this edge and here and there, I need something to be cut away so we can put the thin wood board in where glue or nails secure it. Because my first sketch started at the center and it's a nice symmetrical model, but the back face is actually in the back, I now actually need to create a sketch here in the end. Okay, so create sketch. It doesn't really matter what object we select. I will select this one. Then I press P and project this edge and this edge in. Yeah, I can also project this one and this one. Okay. And if I hide everything, look at that. You see, I have a filled rectangle. So I don't need to even sketch anything. I have actually this profile created by having all these edges brought in. Cool. So that sketch actually is done. Now, this board we put in the back only needs to prevent things in the back not to fall out. It's not going to be a very big board. When this is 1.5 centimeters, let's say the back is 5 millimeters. Okay, so extrude this one to there, -5. It is joining everything, so new body. We can hide the sketches. Very nice. There we see how it sits. But one big push from the inside, that thing simply falls out. And we don't want kind of like put brackets or something in there. We have a very slim 5 millimeter contact surface where we could put wood glue down, but that's terrible. So now I was talking about we need to create this this groove for where this part will sit in. So zack, 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 zack. What we will do is this element here, we will select all the faces, and then we will expand this whole design. Press pull, 5 millimeters. And you see how this expands. Because I did not select the other two faces, they don't adjust. Very good. Okay, so with this done, now, however, unfortunately, I will have an array of combined commands. So you, right click, next, you, right click, next. So I do this in a circular motion and done. Okay. Yeah, but look at this now. When we select this, there, looks really nice and clean. So you can see if we, in this cavity, put a little bit of wood glue down, if we want to, we can put then the board on, or with thin nails, we just tack it in. Very good. So just to show you the awesomeness of the timeline. So let's go back. We hide this. This we call frame. This is actually back face. And in frame, right click, show dimension. Okay. Let's go down 200. And everything follows it. Now, again, the way how the timeline works, when I adjust this value to 120, this is actually the sketch. And then the moment I change something, the software jumps back to here. Okay, this got changed. Very good. So that means, okay, I'm going to rebuild the whole piece for you. Doop, 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 doop. Now I'm going to change this one to maybe 300. There. Okay, instantly the software, thank you, doop, 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 and rebuilds these steps for me. So think about the timeline kind of like an automated tool. What you normally would do manually, here the software does automatically for you. This is also a very simple design, which is why the moment I enter a different value, you nearly see everything updated instantly. Yeah, there, very good. Okay, very nice. So I would say the main frame for the side stand with a back face and already some existing basic joinery is there. At this point now, we can take a look at how can we build our side stand legs and then all the support system around it so they don't wiggle and break off. And this is actually another really interesting area to show you how powerful actually the sketching is and with the modeling, and even how easy complicated objects like this can be modeled in Fusion 360. Very good. So let's go to here. There we are. at the bottom now, we would like to start modeling. I will create a sketch on this ground plane. Sorry, not ground plane, on the bottom face of this frame. So shall the frame go up or down? That sketch will move with it because it will be glued to this face. But this face is not actually a perfect square. So I should bring in actually these lines here too. So we'll go create, project, and project these two lines in too. Very good. There you can see it. Very nice. If I want, can we, yeah, we could actually also project this in, so this one and the front line. Good. So I have basically these lines. They're a little bit shorter. These tiny gaps here, I don't need. So again, because everything was built symmetrically, centered around the center point, I can now decide, good, so where would I like to build? So this is the front, okay. This is the back. Stop this. So I will have my legs here and then the support elements. I will create a rectangle like this. And then I will delete all these horizontal vertical constraints and replace them via perpendicular constraints. And you will see why. So all these lines to each other are 90 degrees. What this actually now allows me when I lock this point and escape. Oh, whoa, I can rotate this. Pretty cool, no? So the long piece should be 36 and the short piece should be 33. Okay. Escape. This point I unfix. Good. Now I can move this around a little bit. I will draw myself a line from here to the midpoint. Then I will do a dimension U to U, please. 45 degrees and perpendicular U to U. Escape. Very good. So there I have kind of like a frame of the leg. Actually, this dimension is wrong because this is for the base, the tip. This is the base. Very good. Okay, let's do the same here. I draw myself a rectangle. Again, perpendicular stuff. Yeah, very nice. Then I can actually do equal constraints. Then from this midpoint to there. Then this should be perpendicular. And sketch dimension should be the same like this one. Okay, I'm gonna bring this down. You see how, well, left and right, we have these pieces. Pretty good. Nice, no? Yeah. From this edge to the inside is a distance of 33 millimeters. And then we have a thickness of 15 millimeters. So I will try to draw myself here a line, ideally not on any midpoint. And then here I will do it for the moment this way. This will help a lot. Good. Horizontal, horizontal, D for dimension. This actually should be 15. And then U to U, you're 33. Okay, pretty nice. Now, how do we do this on the other side? We need probably one line here at least, because we need a piece here. Well, we can take a little shortcut and just draw a line straight up. Very good. Then I draw a line like this on purpose, slightly crooked, because this should be parallel to this one. I don't really like this parallel constraint. Let's make this vertical. And then the distance with D is equal to here. Okay, so then there I have a building block, because this is centered. Later we just rotate it around. So good. Okay. Yeah, we don't really necessarily need more. Okay, now we can start taking a look at how this will work. Okay, there we are. So extrude this one to what actually I have to see what is the height, 50 millimeters. Very good. 50. We get a warning, it's all okay. Right click, repeat this one. 50. I get a warning again because my bodies here is hidden. There are the pieces. Okay, very nice. At this point, if I want, just for test purpose, I could go ahead and go circular pattern, select these two bodies, go to select. You see here, there's no my world center. And then, nope, I just want to have 4. And look at that. Because this is a square, not a rectangle. That's really important because we can fit a circle into a square. I can do a circular pattern. There. So I only need to work on one piece and the other pieces come afterwards. Pretty nice. Good. So that is to a certain degree done. And now I would need to figure out, okay, how I'm going to actually design the rest here. So from this, as you can see, it's coming down at an angle. Okay. When I look from the bottom, I don't want this line when I maybe push this to here to necessarily stand out too much. And this is also the base. Okay. So we will actually from here loft it to something on the ground. Loft. What is loft? So here we have loft. That basically means between two sketches we can create a surface. Very useful. So we will do the following now. We create a sketch on the ground plane. That is good. Let's hide everything else. And I will now project this in and this in, these two lines. And also here this point, so I know not to where to go, and here these two lines. Okay. Then I will click on this, click. I do this on purpose again, click it, so I can show you how wonderful the constraint system works to adjust everything. This can't be vertical or horizontal, that would be crazy, but because then that would be uneven, this needs to be perpendicular. So, and then I could say, well, maybe at the end, this really should stop at this point. Okay, so this point, coincident constraint on that corner. Good. So then I will just create a line here, perpendicular. That is fine. This distance is 33, but this distance here, this I would like to be 36. So a little bit wider, not just a square. And I can, if I want to, right click driven, give me a readout. Okay, so now I have this and this. So check out what happens when we go create and we say loft, this one, to, you see this thing here, click and click. Oh, what? Oh, yeah. This is not visible. New body. Okay. Yeah, look at that. That's interesting. So this point is done. We decided that these 2 points, when we look directly from the bottom, sorry for the movement, that they do not stick further out. Now, if we want to push this side stand next against another object, we want this to be flush. But now the angle of these legs, that's up to us to style. Because we're in a timeline, again, very nice feature to explain. Well, we can push this point of the sketch and whoa, the rest here updated. Really nice, no? Yeah. We have actually here quite a gap. So I would like this to fill. I could have drawn a sketch here from the side too, similar to how we did the leg actually for the side table. Here I'm just showing a different process. So let's actually name everything here. This is leg profile ground. And then this is actually leg profile, let's say top. Okay. Double click. So here now I will extend this a little bit. So we'll add a line, click, drag the snapping and click. There we are. Very good. Finish. Nothing really changes yet. So this one I will hide. And these two I will hide there. Also, this one I will hide. So when I now go to right click and edit this feature, this is profile 1, this is profile 2. On the Mac, Command, PC, Control key, we add this to it. Oh, look at that. You see? Now we added this. The nice thing is at this point now I could select this and start dragging. And what I'm paying attention to is at what point does this line here get close to there? I'm actually very close. I might have to drag this by hand. Yeah, this is fine. This is woodworking. This stuff is not precise to a fraction of a millimeter. Cool. Okay. So you see we extended the base to the back to make this line meet this line. And then for us, we can decide more angle or actually less, no? Okay. Very good. Let's show the other pieces. And there we are. Let's turn off all the sketches. We clearly can see there are some problems. So while this is fine, but the piece sticks through there. So how do we clean that actually up? This is also very easy. Here I will hide everything. I'm actually hiding the objects by pressing the V key. I will show the sketch here one more time. And then you see here I can select this and this profile, including... Wait, I might actually have to hide this one. There, there, there. Actually, no, I only need these two. That's important. There, very good. And then I go extrude and extrude up and cut it. Very nice. Cool. Now even better, we can actually pay attention to how the leg will look. Very nice. We would like to smooth the edges. This corner and this corner by 15 millimeters. Ooh, this is too much. 10. 10 looks good. Okay. I click OK. On purpose, now we do these two different. And 10. Okay. Yeah, that looked pretty cool. But while we don't really see this necessarily, how the rounding gets there into this cavity, also from here we wouldn't really see it. But I would like this to change, and the rounding should stop there. And let me show you something. That's called a variable radius fillet. So double click, constant. Oh, we can't do this anymore. So cancel. So we have to delete this. Very good. Fillet U and variable. Okay, you see here, this is at the end. Very nice. So this we can move a little bit by 10. And this should stop at 0. But in between, I would like to have another one. Maybe here. And let's drag this in to 10. And you see what's happening. So beautiful. Looks like they use a router and just run across it. The position here we can specify cleaner, 80% on this edge. Can we actually add another? Yeah, we can. Very good. So 10 at 0.8 and this one just 0.8. And no, 10. Sorry. Cool. Okay. They're really nice. Let's do a rounding this time, just constant. 4 millimeters. Very good. Yeah, this is fine. Now it's maybe a little bit too big. Let's go with 2. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. We pretty much have everything now in place. You see here this pattern I can now drag to the end. Right click, edit feature, and for bodies, control on the PC, Mac or command key on the Mac, add this one to it. Okay, zack. There we are. Isn't that good? Yeah, I would say so. Very nice. So I would say now we finished actually modeling the whole frame and also the furniture, so not the furniture, the legs and the support system under it. Let's finish this quickly with some materials. So modify, arrange, appearance, sorry. I will go with the Sherry Semi-Glossy for all the legs. I really like this red actually in the wood. Not necessarily that is sherry, but just in terms of colors, this material gives me kind of like the wood color I'm looking for. There we are. Drag, 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 drag. Then now we can look around. Is this all good? The tongues are go horizontal, more or less. That is good. Here, what about there? There we will adjust this later. Yeah, very good. And then all this, we just go back to our paint and glossy. And here white enamel. And I think when we click all these objects, right click, select objects applied to, wait, no, unassign. I was curious actually if we could select multiple objects, go to here and say all the objects we selected, apply that material to. This is interesting. Why is this actually bodies? So it's one body. Hold on 1 second. This is actually confusing me a little bit. 1 second. This makes no sense. What's happening there? You see there are different materials. So I don't know what went wrong. Maybe that's okay. We have faces here now, so remove. Yeah, so they're interesting. I do not know what went wrong, but this is correct now. Very nice. So the only thing now to do is maybe fix actually this. So right click, texture map control, maybe a little bit like this. And then we do a variation. We can also move this around there, maybe bring this down a little bit, or maybe there. So I don't have that cathedral necessarily. Yeah, here this looks nicer. When we go to here, now we can see the rotation, and maybe I want the line to go be more parallel to this axis, and then also see here, okay, we move this out. See, I get a nicer piece of the wood grain. Let me see. So they go this way. That's why. Oops, sorry. Need to move this stuff around more. Yeah, there. See, I try to have the arcs go to the outer corner. Suck. And there. Yeah. See how beautiful it is to adjust that stuff. The 3D wood is just phenomenal. So then here, blah, down, here, down. But to make this not look so the same, we move this left and right a little bit. Also here, we can also go up if we want to, and inwards a little bit. Yeah, there. I would say this looks much, much better. Okay, there is our parametrically generated side stand. I did not put in the drawer or the front face. That's actually quite a lot of work. So for this introduction into the timeline, we leave it at this. And you see how pretty cool it is to create this whole design with these commands, and I can always go back later and modify everything. The fillets I can adjust, how I do the joinery, the dimensions for everything inside this frame can be adjusted. And I don't have to manually rebuild it. That's the key here. Very good.